Guys, we're back. Welcome to Pierce's Wildlife, episode 6.
Welcome.
What's going on, Zach?
Glad to be here.
Got my brother-in-law on tonight. It's going to be a good conversation. Got some fun things to talk about.
There you go. Welcome, Zach.
Glad to be here. It's always fun getting together.
Yeah, it is, man. We have a lot of good times. This is the original, the OG Pierce's Wildlife. This is where it happens.
This is us.
Which we're missing Coleman tonight. He had some stuff come up last minute, but he'll be back on soon. So I was going to talk about real quick. I had a funny situation, me and you, this weekend. We went duck hunting the last weekend for the season. We decided to go on Saturday, and it was freezing. What was it, like 24 degrees outside?
19.
Oh,
dude.
yeah, 19.
It was cold.
Stupid cold.
Yes.
So I'm throwing decoys out. By the time we even get the decoys out and I break up all this water, the water freezes again because the ice was so cold and the waters are already
got
so
off
cold.
The water good, and the ice was freezing back up. It was
I
terrible.
got this jerk string run over to where we're standing. I finally get to where we are. I grabbed the jerk string and I was like, you know what? I need to go ahead and start moving this thing. I go to pull it one time. It's already froze back in the ice.
He's snatching on it.
Yeah, the jerk string is absolutely pointless at this point. I don't even think we got to pull the trigger because they were not coming in.
No.
The whole body was
They
frozen.
were the smart ones. We wasn't.
Yeah.
I think I was the smart one because I was still in the bed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was probably touche.
We got out there. We was thinking about, we should have probably hunted the river. But at this point, it was too late.
Yep.
But we did go to the river.
Yes, we did. We thought we'd ride over and see what was going on.
We snuck up to the very back, and there was a group sitting right there in front of us where we rounded that corner where we like to fish at the back.
Mm-hmm.
And saw a hen there on the opposite side of the river, and I was like, man, we could shoot it. Dad kept seeing it, and then it'd swim around. We couldn't see it. So it swims where I could see it, and then it gets off the water, and I shoot. Well, then a drake and another hen flies off to the right. And I shot that drake, and it fell, and it floated right into a log. Well, when we pulled up, there were some otters there. And, which I'll tell y'all some pretty cool facts about otters here in a minute, but I was like, how are we going to get this bird now? So I told Dad, I said, Dad, I have my kayak at the house if you want to just ride over there and get it.
Well, first we tried to wade out there. You tried to wade out there, and it was like the water was up a little bit because it'd been raining some.
Yep.
So we were contemplating that, and then I was like, Curry's like, hey, why don't you just go get my kayak? I'll stay here and keep an eye on the duck.
Make sure no otters eat it.
Yeah, no otters eat it. I jump in my truck and head over to go get the kayak, and I get there. I don't have the right size ball on the back of it, so I have to find a hitch ball, and I go down to my shop, and I find a receiver, and I take the 2 5/16 out of it and put a 1.7 8. I mean, it took me a minute to find an 1.7 8, and I took it off and bolted it back on there, and I think I'm good. And I slide it in the back of the truck. Okay, I'm good. Let's go down there and get this boat. So I back up to the boat and had a new cover on it. Apparently, Curry put a cover on the thing I didn't know about, and it was strapped, and everything looked good. So I'm like, all right, here we go. So I drive out.
I did not put the cover on it. Okay. I had my guys put the cover on it.
Okay, well,
guess what they didn't do?
Yep, they didn't restrap it. So about halfway down the road,
there was no more kayak on the back.
I'm on my,
the kayak is on the side of the road.
I said I was in a truck. Actually, I was in my Ranger. I can't see behind it. I knew I was pulling the trailer. I could see the trailer, but I couldn't see the kayak. So I turned into the driveway, and I looked in the mirror, and I'm like, oh, crap. No boat. I had to turn around and go back. And there's the boat sitting on the bridge.
Almost landed in the creek.
Yeah, thank goodness. It would have floated down to him, possibly. No.
Letting in a little early there.
Yeah, exactly. So I went back and loaded it back up, strapped it down, thought I was good. About halfway through the woods, I coming around the corner, and I saw the cover flapping, and I'm like, what in the world? And I look, and the cover's flapping with no boat. Boat came off again. So here I go. I'm like, man, this boat ain't coming off this time. I wrapped that strap around that thing about 2 or 3 times, strapped it down. It wouldn't have come off if you wanted it to. But I drove on back to the back and got back there, and Curry pulled the boat off, and his fingers was freezing at this time.
I mean, they were so cold.
It was so cold.
And I am not making this up. 50 minutes
Oh, no joke.
That doesn't surprise me.
Well, I
50
mean, seriously.
minutes.
Yeah.
He went a mile and a half.
It was so funny. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Here I am I had to find a hitch. I had to make a hitch. I put it on the Ranger, and I'm ready to head out, hook up to it, drive down the road, boat comes off. Drive down the road, boat comes off. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, dude. It was hilarious. We finally got to it, though, but it was a lot of fun for one duck.
One duck.
A lot of work.
Yes.
But way too much work.
So I stayed there because I could have just got my canoe on the actual trailer and brought it back faster than that. But the point is I stayed there for the otters because, otters are very invasive. Mm-hmm. They will eat anything and everything, just about it. Otters eat 15 to 25% of their body weight a day.
I've heard that before.
Otters generally weigh 18 to 22 pounds. Long story short of that, just to give you guys a perspective of how much they eat, 100 to 150 crawfish a day, 2.5 wood ducks, 10 bluegill.
A day?
A day.
Jeez Louise.
And ducks are a part of their diet.
Right.
Their main diet is like mussels and clams and, stuff like that. That's a little bit easier. They do also eat frogs and turtles and stuff like that. But otters are a pretty serious deal. Like just in August of 23, there were some ladies floating down the river, the Jefferson River in Montana. I don't know what happened, what came over these otters. They literally attacked these 3 women and mauled them. They had to go to the hospital.
What in the world?
Half their face hanging off. You can Google it and see pictures. It is disturbing.
Wow.
It's nuts. So
Louise. I guess, we need to.
That's why it's important.
Manage those things back
trapping
there.
season, December 1st to February 28th. Kill them.
I guess so.
You got to get rid of them.
Yeah.
There's
probably overabundant amount of. I mean, we go back there just about every time we go back. We see otters.
Yeah. It's a thing. Like that. I was at the swamp a Sunday night, just kind of picking up the decoys and stuff from where we had left them in the canoe. And I saw one that night as well. But
in the swamp.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if you recall, Currie, when we were camping West Point. West Point, probably about 5-6 years ago. We was all on the pontoon boat.
Oh, yeah.
Hanging out with the kids, swimming around, and that otter came swimming right up through us we weren't even there.
That's right.
Paying no attention.
Mm-mm.
That
don't get close.
Yeah.
Sounds like, geez Louise. It's
right.
Like I mean, little mini gator.
Right. I mean, they're crazy.
Wow.
Make you think of be on you like a spider monkey. Woo. So speaking of trapping real quick, I wanted to give some other information since trapping's 1 more month. We need to get some information out. And don't forget, guys, if you guys are interested in learning how to trap, we are going to probably take a couple people and teach them, and you can buy your own equipment and we'll teach you how to do it. We can teach you how to do coyotes if you want to learn how to do that, or raccoons and possums. And it's super important for raccoons and possums and to trap with foothold traps, because we need to be taking care of these bobcats. Because some other information, being turkey season coming up, turkey, 40 to 60% of all nests are eaten by bobcats. The turkey eggs, the biggest predator is raccoons too. So just make sure you guys, if you guys are interested in that, reach out to us. We'll give lessons. We have plenty of people that can show you. Me, Zach, Dwight. If you're down south, Brian can show you. But just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. So, Zach,
what's up?
Thanks for coming on, brother.
Zach Attack.
Glad I finally got to get on here.
Yes,
we're
good
getting
time.
Wide open. Wide open.
Y'all been busy, ain't you?
Oh yeah.
Are you doing a pretty good bit of lawn care, like maintenance right now?
Oh yeah. We were out running a customer's yard today, doing some fall cleanup, leaves, clean out the gutters and limbs and stuff like that, and getting ready to start kicking off the spring season here soon. I'm ready for it to warm back up.
At this point, me too. Like I need some grass in my yard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I know it. We drive around on it when it's this time of the season, and it's not good for it to drive in the yards, but I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah.
So
Zach, you've been hunting pretty much off and on your whole life, but really got serious What have you been hunting your whole life?
Yeah, I grew up hunting with my dad a little bit. He was on the road, so whenever he was home, we tried to go hunt together. Didn't really get into it hardcore till probably about 5-6 years ago. Got the pleasure of shooting my first deer with you
That
with the
was
bow
fun.
at that.
That was fun.
First deer, first bow kill,
Yep.
first buddy hunt really
Yeah.
for me, and got to do it with my brother-in-law, so
Yeah.
it was real fun.
No, I love it.
I will
love the
never
story.
In the
forget.
backyard,
Right.
at that with the football game going on.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's right. We were watching on our phones.
Mm-hmm. So it was real fun, and really ever since then it's been balls to the wall.
Yeah.
You ain't stopping it.
Once you get hooked
You
on
get
it,
bit.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Dude.
I know racing is a big adrenaline junkie for y'all, but that to me, that's an adrenaline like no other. Sitting in the
Right.
stand,
Yep.
it can be a little baby doe, it can be a little spike. It gets them knees trembling.
Yeah.
it's
Makes you
on.
shake,
If it makes
baby.
you shake.
It's on.
Yep. That's funny because, like, you think about a bunch of people that will tell you, you know, I'm a wing hunter. You know, I like to shoot doves. I like to shoot ducks. A lot of people tell you, like, once I've started duck hunting, you know, I pretty much put deer hunting down.
Yeah.
You know, I did the duck hunting thing for a long
Right,
time.
right.
But once that buck fever hits you, duck hunting's for the birds.
Yep.
You know,
I
it's
mean,
funny.
literally.
Literally.
It's funny you said that because I remember when you actually got into duck hunting, it was really funny because I'm like, I love deer hunting more than I do anything.
Yep.
And I remember Currie saying, "Hey, Dad, you think this deer hunting's fun? You need to try duck hunting, dude. I'm telling you, it's the most fun you'll ever have."
And it really is.
And I'm sitting here thinking in the back of my mind, I'm sure it is a lot of fun, and I've done it in the past, but deer hunting
there's
was
that
my
big but.
man.
Hold
Come on,
Yep.
You know,
and I said he's gonna come around.
I think it's a little bit like once you get older and you get to really like enjoy the outdoors,
Right.
and understand.
Well, you took off once you decided you was gonna be a hunter, dude. There wasn't no holding you back.
No,
I mean, you was out there. I'm duck calling. Like Currie, put the duck call down. Go to sleep. You know, I'm like, oh, I can't sleep in here.
Oh.
It was hilarious, man. I mean, but you know, he had a good time. He learned a lot on his own too. Got out there, and he was real avid about wanting to do this thing. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Good job,
I
Currie.
did have some guidance, you know, obviously from you and Brian, but I mean, I'm pretty, you know, I'm pretty self-taught. Like I love it. You know,
You won't never learn it unless you get out there and do the school of hard knocks.
Mhm.
have a drive
And
for it.
you know, you can show somebody, you can teach somebody, but unless they start doing it on their own
That's
and
right.
start
Yeah.
figuring it out,
Learn
you're not
from your
gonna
mistakes,
be
too.
that good at it.
Yep.
So Zach, that hunt, let's hear it. You remember?
Yeah. Kind of preface it a little bit here. Currie, you know, living right down the road from us, a couple miles down the road, small little acreage there, but loaded with deer.
Yep.
Unreal the amount of deer he had in the backyard.
For 4 acres, it
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yep.
Yep. Some of the biggest deer at the time too.
Absolutely.
From around here shot there. And, we got talking and he's like, "Man, you want to shoot a deer?" And I was like, "I'm down." And we got over there and we was like, "Well, let's watch the game." And we decided, no, the game ain't going the way we want. We're going to
Right.
get in the stand. We ain't going to waste our time watching TV when we go get in the stand. We get in the stand. And he told me, he says, about dark, there's going to be a big mama doe come out with 2 little babies, and just be ready because they're going to come out. And sure enough, it was eye squinting dark.
Yeah,
I mean,
he called
it was getting there.
It was dark.
And,
I mean, we could see
Okay,
them,
yeah,
but
okay.
it was
yeah, it was legal, but it was
Okay, there you go. That's
it
what I
was
want to hear.
at that-
Legal.
It was at that time of change where it's real hard to see still.
Yeah, it
Right.
starts getting difficult.
Yeah. And she walks out, and I'm sitting there, and I see her. Curry's sitting there. He's like, "I see her too." And I'm like, "All right." I go to stand up. And about that time, all I saw was 2 eyes look right back up at us at the stand, and I'm locked up, halfway standing up, and Curry's over here pushing me. Get up to shoot. And I'm like,
and there's no rail.
no rail.
I've literally
Like, about to push me over out of the stand. And I'm like, dude, she's looking at me. I cannot move. Finally, it felt like 5 minutes, probably wasn't 10 seconds.
Right.
Finally looks away, and I go to stand up. I draw back. As soon as I draw back, there's a limb right in my eyesight
my
of the peep
words.
sight. So Curry's like, "Shoot her." shoot her. And I'm like, I can't even see her. I got leaves in my eyes right now. So then he looks over there and he says, it looks like I was in the Matrix over here, flailing around with the bow in my hand, trying to move around. I got a limb wrapped up in me. And then I finally like, all right, I see the doe. Get back locked on her, see her, aim, go to shoot, and hear a pop. And we're like, that was kind of a little interesting there. But you couldn't hear nothing over the pop because I was like, I shot her as loud as I could. Can't even whisper at this point.
Yes.
Curry just laughing at me because I can't be quiet.
Oh, no, and you're shaking like a leaf.
And I'm like, I shot her. He's like, well, watch where she's going. And I'm like, I shot her. Could not stop.
He pulled a Luke Bryan.
Yeah. Is she down? Oh, man.
And she was down. I mean,
30,
20 yards maybe. It was
awesome.
But unfortunately, it was not the mama doe.
That's all right.
A little bit younger deer, but
we all
still a good first deer.
We have all done.
That was fantastic. I love that story.
That was so fun.
Yeah.
Ever since then, though, it's been on. If it's in sight, it's going down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even if it's a spike, I have been known. You might want to look out because I will shoot them.
Hey, them horns don't eat.
Hey, we got a freezer full of good aim. I'm telling you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure
we
do.
live off of them.
So, Zach, early season this year, you had a pretty fun situation as well.
Yeah, early season this year, we, like y'all said on the other podcast, we kind of had a weird season going on with all the properties, not really no crazy good, good mature deer to go after. We had a 9-pointer show up there on one of the leases early, and we were kind of back and forth what we were going to do with them. And I was like, well, when I see them in person, kind of make a judgment call there. And opening day seen a little, probably 1.5, 2-year-old 8-pointer, going to be good potential, couple years down the road, let him walk. And then probably, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday of opening week. So about 4 or 5 days in the season, I was about 4:30 at work and decided, I think I'm going to go get in the stand. It's a little bit of a front, about a 5-degree, nothing crazy, but I was like, it's a little front. I'm going to go get in the stand last minute. Run home, grab my bow, didn't even change into hunting clothes. Went to the stand. I had my Crocs on, socks, shorts, work shirt still on. Worried I was blowing the spot out with my scent. Get in the stand, texted Currie, and I was like, hey, I'm up here hunting. And lo and behold, him and Flint were up here hunting that night. Flint's target buck from the year before finally showed up.
Chocolate.
Hadn't seen him all season. He showed up that morning, and Currie decided last minute to take Flint, run up there and almost a running gun hunt pretty much for them.
Yep.
And get in the stand, I was like, well, if that 9-pointer shows up, I'd like to see him, maybe get lucky. And sure enough, I think it was about 7 o'clock, we were sitting there, and I had a doe come in off my right, and she locked up and heard some commotion to my left, and look over, and there's that young 8-pointer again come out of the wood line. And he locks up and looks behind him, and I'm like, there's another deer here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get settled down because I don't know what it is about bow hunting for me, but it can be a doe, I get
Shake
Oh,
it.
yeah.
shaking like a
It's
leaf.
serious. That bow hunting is
it's rough
serious.
for me. So I'm sitting there trying to, get myself together, and I'm trying to look behind the 8-pointer. And about that time, I see a deer walk out. I said, that's that 9-pointer. He hadn't showed up for a few days, and hadn't seen him on camera. And he shows up, gets right into the corn. Yes, I hunt over corn. It is legal and it is fun. We call them the golden nuggets around here. And he walks in, gets in there, gets in the corn, eating. And I'm like, man, he don't look bad. He looks pretty good. And about that time, he just looks up and looks right back at me. And I looked at the bases of his rack, and I was like, yeah, he's getting shot. And it was over from there. Drew back what I thought at the time was a perfect heart shot.
It was. It really was.
It
was a great
good
shot.
Yeah, it was still a good shot.
And shot him. And then about that time, I texted him. I think it was like 7:05 about the time I shot, and texted Currie, shot one. Was going to mess with him, try to play a little joke. Didn't even tell him what I shot. Just said, shot one, getting down. Got down, and we was heading out, and he called me. He's like, Flint shot his target, but chocolate at the time. And I was like, ooh, that's good. And he's like, well, what'd you shoot? I said, it was a good shot. I think she'll be down. Trying to play it off because I didn't want to take away from him shooting his deer, but I was like, man, this will be a good joke to play on him. Just let him think we're going to look for doe, then walk up and that 9-pointer just be laying there. And then we sitting there and we get over there to meet back up at the Rangers. And we were going to go look for chocolate in a little while. We was going to let him kind of lay. And I was like, well, let's go get mine. We jump in the Rangers. We get to the gate. And then about that time, I was like, I couldn't hold it anymore. I looked at Currie. I said, Currie, it wasn't no doe I shot. He's like, what do you mean? I said, I shot that 9-pointer. And he just started laughing. He's like, no, you didn't. And then Flint was like, wait, you shot your 9-pointer? And I was like, yeah. He's like, we shot both of our bucks tonight? And I was like, well, I guess we did, but let's see if we can go find them. I was like, I'm not sure where he went. I never heard him crash.
Yep.
And then here we go, me and Currie going trekking through the woods. Me and my Crocs, socks, shorts.
That was not the problem. Getting out of the woods.
Yeah. Oh, once we found where he was, he was in a hole.
And the deer was one of them shots like high top. I mean, it was a great shot.
He painted a road all the way.
I mean, he was literally taking his last breath when we were walking up on him.
Wow.
And that had been almost 45
that was perfect
minutes?
timing then.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and then we got in there and found him, and we looked at each other and was like, where do we go now?
Yeah.
We were in it. I mean, bleeding, both of us bleeding on our legs, scratched up.
Was it dark at this time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was dark.
And when you're in the woods and it's dark, every direction looks the correct way, and you're like, oh, my words.
Well, thankfully, we all run Onyx. We was able to pull it up and see where we were in relation to the property.
Because we were so deep, you're not going back that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier to find
Onyx.
Yeah.
And come to find out, he was only, 50 yards from an old food plot.
Yep.
It was heading straight back for it and crashed in there about 50 yards off from there and was able to drag him out there. But no, that was a fun one. I hadn't ever really had a chance to shoot a good buck early season, and he's actually going to be ready here in about a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's probably already sent you pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Now, didn't I hear that both of those bucks was actually shot pretty much at the same time?
Yeah,
I think they were within minutes. Yeah.
I don't even know that it was 10 minutes.
No, I think it was like a couple minutes.
Yeah,
it was wild.
I remember it was like shorter than that, somewhere between 2 and 3 minutes or something like that.
It was tight.
Because I think I shot him, it was like either 7:03, and then Flint shot his like right, almost in.
Y'all were both looking at them at the same time pretty much. The shots were different time, but you were looking at them at the same time.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That's a cool story, because it's not very often that you get to shoot a nice buck, but then two of them, family members.
That's right.
Pretty much same time. I mean, that's really cool.
Same property.
Yep.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's good.
Probably 1,000 yards apart, if that.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good piece of property up there. I enjoy hunting it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good, there's a ton of doe, so we get to shoot quite a few doe off of it.
Plenty of food.
Yeah, plenty of food. Absolutely.
Speaking of food, I guess you guys remember Thanksgiving 22.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Who can forget that?
What a hunt.
Lord.
I mean, that hunt will go down as probably one of the most memorable, if not the most memorable.
For sure.
Hunt with us.
That was all you, Dwight.
Yeah, it was.
Well, it was also me and Zach, but.
Well, I mean, we actually get together on Thanksgiving. Every Thanksgiving morning, we get together and we do something together.
We hunt something.
Where we're duck hunting or deer hunting or whatever we decided we're going to do. We're going to do something together that morning.
Yep.
Yeah. And so this morning was actually an awesome morning. We had already decided we was going to get together and go hunt the next morning. And I was after a good 8-pointer, and he was target buck for me that year. And that was not this past year, but the
22,
year before, right?
November 22.
Okay. And it was really good. So I had gotten up and I'd text the guys and like, are y'all up and ready to go? And nobody responded for a minute. And then finally Curry's like, I'm ready. All right. So we were getting ready to go. Zach never responded. So we get together, and Curry and myself, and we're sitting there. We're like, man, Zach ain't answering. He's not answering.
And it's getting late. We need to get in the stand.
We need to be in the stand already. So we took a chance and rode down to the house and pulled in his driveway. No movement, no lights, no nothing.
Yep.
So we're like,
we're
going to have to go without him. We're just going to go get in. And we went down, and we have a redneck stand down there, so we call it the redneck. And went down there and got in the stand. We all got set up and everything. it was starting to crack dawn. I mean, we could actually start to see the daylight, and we're sitting there, and I get a text. Zach, we still hunting this morning? Whoa. Are y'all already there?
Yeah.
Yes, we are. And I look at Currie. I said, man, can you believe Zach? Zach, he's up now.
He said, can I still
said,
join?
He said, can I still come? And I'm like, well, this is our thing. We do it together on Thanksgiving morning. So it's like, I'm like at Currie. I'm like, shoot, yeah, man, just come on. It'll be all right.
Currie was so aggravated.
I already know.
Currie, if you know Currie, he is so, he's like, man, tell him he's
Too late.
home. Too late. And it was so funny. And I was like, no, man, it's more of the hangout than it is the hunt. So let's just let him come on.
Yep.
So I said, yeah, man, come on. But, just ease in the backside, come up the trail. Well,
we got a trail that goes to the back
to
of
it. You come into the back of it, and you can actually near about be unnoticed.
There's another trail kind of beside it.
I'm not sure if y'all remember, but I didn't know about the trail.
Okay.
So when I came in, no flashlight because it was daylight enough.
It was.
I didn't need a light. I mean, I had plenty of overhead light.
It was so. I mean, I really and
it
truly
wasn't daylight, but it was definitely bright enough.
Did he not get there really fast though?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was the fastest I think. Dude, he came in there. Matter of fact, when he got in the stand, I think he was sweating.
Yes.
I was heavy breathing. I hadn't been.
So he walks through the front of
he comes through the field right by the food plot where we're hunting. And I'm like, look at Currie. Currie's like, man. I said, it's going to be good, dude. We're hanging out. We're going to probably laugh more than we are anything.
Yep.
So we're just having a good time. So, and then he eases into the stand. He climbs up in there and sits down. And I look over at Currie and
we just start laughing.
We just started laughing. We're all laughing at each other. It's so funny. I said, good to see you, Zach. I'm just excited,
I was a little scared to talk because I wasn't sure if Currie was going to wring my neck.
I know. Yeah. So anyhow, we actually look at each other and we're like, who was it that seen the deer first and said, there he is?
Me.
Oh, one of the does that came out?
No, the doe came out and I said,
one doe.
But
she came out very cautious.
She came out and I said, he's going to be with her.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was the doe that we recognized that actually showed up every time we seen him. Yep. And it was really awesome to see her come out. And we're like, Zach literally just sit down.
We were still getting settled in.
We hadn't even finished.
Shuffled and everything.
Yeah. So anyhow, and Zach's sitting behind me, and all of a sudden she comes out and she's real cautious. She's looking around, and then while she's looking around, she drops her head. And when she drops her head, he steps out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dad goes to pull up his binoculars. I done pulled up mine. That's him.
Yeah, I started pulling my binoculars. I was like halfway up, and right as about to get to my eyes, Currie said, "That's him." I said, "Okay," put him right back down. I never even lifted them to my eyes. So that was awesome too. Saying Zach's like, "Oh, I see him. All right, let me pull my crossbow up." So I pulled the crossbow up and started looking through. And yep, I could see him really good. And I look over and I noticed he's hobbling. Dude, so apparently
pretty good.
He was hobbling pretty bad. So apparently he's been chasing this doe for a while.
Yeah.
And he was so tired, he walked over to where the corn was and he literally dropped down on his front legs and got on his knees. And he's sitting there eating his, it's almost like he's got his head. I felt a little sorry for him a little bit, to be honest with you.
He knew it was his last meal.
But he had already done his deal. So it was time. But anyhow, and then he stood back up, and as he's standing there, it was a gorgeous view. And Zach was videoing and Currie was watching them, and they said, everybody's like, all right, if you're ready, get him, it's ready, get him. And about that time I squeezed the trigger on the crossbow and it was a perfect shot. He kicked and turned and run off in the woods, maybe about 20, 30 yards. It wasn't very far. But, yeah, it was an awesome morning.
He was dead.
Dead. There was no flinch, he was gone. Yeah. It's a perfect shot.
What's awesome, too, is we got video footage of it.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving morning.
Zach was filming the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to be
I didn't even know he was videoing, actually.
I just kind of chilled back, and I was like, you know what? I'm not doing nothing. Why won't I be useful here? I'm already late to the hunt. Might have ruined it. Might as well try to film it now at this point.
Yeah.
Pulled out my iPhone, trying to film in the redneck without making too much commotion and all that. It was pretty cool. Got to film that, and then got to film y'all finding them,
Yep.
walking up to them
That
for
was
the first
good.
time.
Yes, it was. That was awesome.
So
I'll see if I can't clip that and get that on YouTube for you guys
that
to
would
watch.
be nice.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was pretty fun.
It's fun to watch it in slow mo and see that lit knot going through.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
It was a good time.
It was a
It
good.
was. It's always a good time when we get together.
Yep.
Yes,
We've
it
had a
is.
bunch of good times.
I enjoy hanging out with these guys.
But unfortunately, this time has got to come to an end.
Well, we got more to say, but we'll
Yeah.
save it for another time.
Another time. Guys, we appreciate you guys listening to the Pierce Wildlife Podcast.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for having me on.
Zach, we appreciate you coming, bud. I mean, it's a
Absolutely.
good time having you on.
That's right.
All right, guys. Don't forget, if it makes you shake, don't wait, don't hesitate. Shoot that thing.